Okay, so I was on the Second Chronicles. First Chronicles. First Chronicles 28:13. For all the unsigned responsibilities within the Lord's temple, and for all the items used in the service of the Lord's temple. 14. He gave him the prescribed weight for all the gold items to be used in various types of service in the Lord's temple, for all the silver items to be used in various types of service. 15. For the gold lampstands and their gold lamps, including the weights of each lampstand and its lamps. For the silver lampstands, including the weights of each lampstand and its lamps, according to the prescribed use of each lampstand. 16. For the gold used in the display tables, including the amount to be used in each table. For the silver to be used in the silver tables. For the pure gold used in the meat forks, bowls, and jars. For the small gold bowls, including the weights for each bowl. For the silver bowls, including the weights for each bowl. 18. And for the refined gold in the incense altar. He gave him the blueprint for the seat of the gold cherubim that spread their wings and provide shelter for the ark of the Lord's covenant. 19. David said, all this I put in writing as the Lord directed me and gave me insights regarding the details of the blueprints. 20. David said to his son Solomon, be strong and brave, do it, because don't be afraid and don't panic, for the Lord, my power is with you. He will not leave you or forsake or abandon you before all the work for the service of the Lord's temple is finished. 21. And here are the divisions of the priests and Levites who have performed all the service of God's temple. All the willing and skilled men are ready to assist you in all the work and perform their service. The officials and all the people are ready to follow your instructions, And so that's what King David did. And that's what we're doing now, preparing the temple, this third temple that's getting built. So and that's what we're doing now. This is the First Chronicles 29 and 18. O Lord, power of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, always maintain these motives of your people. We keep them devoted to you. Make my son Solomon willing to obey your commands, rules, and regulations, and to complete building the palace for which I have made preparations. On down, this is First Chronicles 21. I'm not sure what verse this is, but it might just read it. He was directed by God to build an altar on the threshing floor of Araunah, the Jebusite in Jerusalem. This spot in Jerusalem became the designated site for the future temple, which was later built by his son Solomon. The tabernacle which was a portable sanctuary, was the one located in Gibeon at that time. This is going into this place where David sacrificed to stop the angel from killing a lot of Israelites because of his sin and counting the children of Israel. Just to fact check it, in AI overview it says here, yes, according to 2 Chronicles 3:1, the temple was built on Mount Moriah at the exact location where King David built an altar on the threshing floor of Araunah or Ornan, the Jebusite, to stop the plague. David offered sacrifices there after an angel of the Lord stopped destroying Jerusalem. This significance, the site marked the end of the plague, transforming the place of judgment into a place of covenant and mercy. It says here, historical connection. The same location is associated with Mount Moriah, where Abraham was tested with Isaac. Yeah, that was where Isaac was going to be offered as well. Let's go back to this. So now let's go into, so that was spiritual, just a spiritual fun fact there. King David built that temple. That was where he sacrificed to basically stop the angel from killing, and that was where Isaac was gonna be killed by Abraham. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to this one. It says here. Yeah. Even when you look at the temple, the Israelite woman couldn't go further. Nearer the temple than the Israelite man. Okay, so the Israelite man had a section basically that was closer to the temple than the woman. Just showing you once again where the woman's place is. Where the woman's place is. Anyway, moving on, if I may, it says here the priests could only go. The priests here they're the only ones who could go deeper inside, especially in the Holy of Holies. But even that is just once a year, showing you the order of the Holy Temple and its design. Because of course the woman has her place where she is, and then the man has a higher place where he is. But then the priests of Israel, which is the prophets today, have a higher place where they are. But moving on to this, it says, if you were to go back to Jerusalem, ancient Israel, the most beautiful thing you'll see is the temple. This is 1 Chronicles 22, 5. David said, "My son Solomon is just an inexperienced young man, and the temple to be built for the Lord must be especially magnificent, so it will become famous and be considered splendid by all the nations. Therefore, I will make preparations for its construction." So David made extensive preparations before he died. Who designed it? King David prepared the plans and accumulated many of the materials, but was not permitted to build the temple. King Solomon carried out the construction of the temple using the design passed down from his father, and then the power of Yahweh. The design is said to have been divinely inspired by God, basically by Yahweh, provided to David, with God appearing to Solomon to give further instructions. God. Yahweh appeared to Solomon to give further instructions. It says here, according to the Hebrew Bible, King Solomon is credited with building the first temple in Jerusalem, but he followed a design provided by his father, King David, and ultimately approved by the power of Yahweh. Solomon's father, King David, had been forbidden by the Most High from building it himself, but he accumulated materials and passed on instructions for the design to Solomon. The Most High Yahweh lives in the fourth dimension, but the temple was where he would rule as Israel's king. This is what Solomon said, though. 1 Kings 8 and 27, that he was right. It says 27, but will God, the power of Yahweh really dwell on earth? The heavens, even the highest heaven, cannot contain you. Anyway, how much less this temple I have built? The building was just a symbol and represented his rule over all people. 1 Kings 8 and 21. As for a foreigner who does not belong to your people Israel, but has come from a distant land because of your name. 42. For they will hear of your great name and your mighty hand and your outstretched arm when they come and pray toward this temple. Then hear from heaven and your dwelling place, do whatever the foreigner asks of you, so that all peoples of the earth may know that your name and fear you, as the your people Israel, and may know that this house I have built bears your name. Jumping up to 59, and may these words of mine, which I have prayed before the Lord, be near to the Lord our God day and night, that he may uphold the cause of his servant and the cause of his people Israel according to each day's need. Verse 60, so that the Lord is got the power and that there is no other. So that all the peoples of the earth may know that the Lord is the power and that there is no other. And may your hearts be fully committed to the Lord our God, power Yahweh, to live by his decrees and obey his commands as at this time. And so that's what the Lord is doing now. That's what we're trying to be now in this day and age, in this wicked kingdom. That's what we're trying to be and do. It's to build this temple. This temple here of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, for Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, Khan. But this is another precept. Genesis 1 and 31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Con. The sixth day. And the morning represents when you go to work. So essentially, it represents us still working right now to build this third temple. Then we get to Genesis 2 and 2. It says, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And that was the seventh day, basically the day of rest, when all the work was finished. When all the work was finished. And it's symbolic for the kingdom, basically representing the kingdom, because 7 means complete. Through the Spirit, the temple was located in the garden where Adam was living. Yeah, technically speaking, that was where the Garden of Eden was. I wouldn't be surprised if where that temple was, it was where Adam was before getting kicked out. And through the Spirit, the temple inside was decorated after the model of the paradise, Eden. That's why the menorah looks like a tree, and it's 7 basically fruits or branches represents a complete knowledge of the Lord. You can say the menorah represents the tree of life, and no unclean thing could enter the temple, which represents other doctrines, other gods that are unclean, because Adam fell by those unclean practices, beliefs, philosophies, and that's how it's no coincidence. That's how Solomon fell as well. It says here, and in the temple you were commissioned to keep and work the duties inside the temple, just as Adam was in the garden to keep his duties in the garden. So that was also a metaphor of Adam as well, to keep himself pure, which it says that here in Genesis 2 verse 15. So the temple represented that garden of Eden, basically, is what I was trying to explain there, what I'm trying to explain. Genesis 2 to 15. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and keep it. And the Lord commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That's also why Yahushua likens the fruits of the Spirit unto trees of fruits. You shall know them by their fruits. Those fruits represent what you're speaking, what your belief is, basically. 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in that the day thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. 18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him and help meet for him. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. 20. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found any helpmeet for him. And then it says here, but just as Edom the serpent wanted to rule on his own terms, and other nations followed his lead, and for Adam listening to the lie or lies, he was exiled from his paradise, Eden. Just like the temple. Just like in the temple, with how we couldn't keep the laws, so we ended up getting exiled, cast out of the Eden, which was in Solomon's time. Later on, when Israel got to the land that was the Garden of Eden, and we got exiled out of there as well, just like Adam did and Solomon did when they because we went off and they went off. So that's all a metaphor as well. Because the scriptures does say it's nothing new under the sun. And so just as Adam fell, Solomon came back. Adam came back as Solomon to take care of the Garden of Eden, which was the first temple. But then he went off, so he got cast out of it, and that's why eventually the first temple got destroyed as well. And Solomon got casted off, and Israel, all Israel in that time, ended up getting cast off, and then we fell away. Then you had the second temple built, and the same thing happened basically. Yahushua came back to pay for his crimes at Solomon, which was going off, which was sin. Because sin is what actual crime is. Breaking the laws, that's actually what signifies a crime. And so Adam went off, and Solomon went off, and then Yahushua went off because he had to pay for his crimes of Solomon. Then so all Israel got destroyed as well and killed off and cast away due to their wickedness. So I'll continue this lesson again later, Lord's will. Shalom. Lord's will. Abar Rabah.